As most of you will already know, TJ reported and got the original video deleted for privacy reasons, so I'm re-uploading it again, this time censoring his face, masking his voice, and any of his private information. I understand doing this defeats the purpose of an expose, so if you're not convinced of the evidence in this video due to the censorship, then you can follow the links in the description to the full uncensored version. And this censored version just isn't the same. Parts of a video won't make sense unless it's uncensored. You'll see what I mean when you're watching it, but I highly recommend you watch the original video I made. I have it uploaded on BitChute, Rumble, Telegram, and there still exists another uncensored version of this video on YouTube uploaded by Rex Edits. They'll be the top links in the description below. Really, I'm just doing this as a matter of publicity because I want as many people to know who CodComedyTJ is and what he's done. Enjoy the video. G'day everyone, Mr. Weenie here. Merry Christmas to everyone tuning in. Today marks a very special day. This time last year, CodComedyTJ posted his return video to his YouTube channel. So I'm uploading his expose on Christmas Day as a little homage to that. Apologies to those who've been waiting for this video. I would have made it sooner, but I was super busy and was recovering from an injury that I did at work, and it just wasn't the best time. In this video, I'm going to recount my side of a story, including some major key points regarding the whole CodComedyTJ fiasco. Given the nature of this video, I'm not expecting it to stay on YouTube very long, especially when CodComedyTJ reports every video I make on him relating to this incident. I've gotten copyright claims, privacy complaints, and false defamation reports all from TJ whenever I've decided to speak up on the matter. I'm also pretty confident that TJ is putting together my docs too, which his admins have admitted to. I don't really care, to be honest. Posting my house address, my full name, or my family photos doesn't change the fact what you've done is wrong, TJ. Because I know you're watching this looking for cracks in my commentary, probably so you can spin it around on me. And if I do say something false, it's not intentional, so if there's something I missed or that I misspoke, feel free to let me know in the comments below. This is the longest and most complex video I've ever had to make, so I won't be surprised if I do make a few mistakes. But that doesn't mean I can't correct myself. Please don't hold your breath, feel free to speak up if I do get something wrong, and I'll address it. I understand this is the type of content that could lead to this video getting deleted, receiving a strike, or worse, my channel terminated. I know TJ is going to mass report this video into the ground, but what's more important is me getting the word out about what TJ has done behind closed doors in recent events. Who gives a shit about my channel? People need to know. For the sake of this video's lifespan on YouTube, I'm still going to censor strong language and use different lingo when I can. For example, I'll refer to file as PDF file and the word as grape, etc, etc. And no, I don't care about monetization. I'm age restricting this video due to its nature and the fact that I don't care to profit from this. Really, I'm just trying not to give YouTube a stupid reason to take this video down too early, so then at least some people can see it. But like I said, that might not be possible anyway, but it's worth a shot. I'll leave a link in the description where you can watch this video on Telegram if the one on YouTube does get taken down. Also, if you haven't already noticed, I'm reading from a script, so apologies if I sound unnaturally formal. I couldn't not write a script. The amount of coverage that's needed for this drama is massive. In saying that, let's get straight into it. If you want the too long didn't read ADHD version of this video, then basically what happened was CodComedyTJ groomed a minor, lied about what happened, fabricated evidence in an attempt to disprove the allegations to protect his reputation. It didn't work, so he allegedly posted revenge on the girl he was grooming, and then fled the UK to Amsterdam to avoid getting arrested after it was reported to the police. Also, you can see the full uncensored expose on Telegram, Discord, or on the website. Links in the description below. And notice here I don't say allegedly CodComedyTJ groomed a minor, because he did groom a minor. There is solid evidence to back up my claims, which we'll get into later. But if you want to go ahead and file your false defamation claim, go for it, TJ. Now's the time. I will say that he allegedly posted revenge of the minor because I never saw it. However, multiple individuals did claim to witness this, including the victim. I'm quickly just going to read what is considered grooming according to the UK Metropolitan Police website, as some people like to think the victim in question was never groomed by TJ. Grooming is when a person builds a relationship with a child, young person, or an adult who is at risk so they can abuse them and manipulate them into doing things. The abuse is usually sexual or financial, but it can also include other illegal acts. This definition of grooming will be relevant when we're examining evidence later on in the video. For those who aren't familiar with CodComedyTJ, he's a British streamer who gained attention primarily for his controversial and comedic content on Bitwave. Known for his edgy humour, politically charged conversations, and quick-witted delivery on stream, he made for a pretty good watch despite how short-lived his run was. That was before he got arrested in early 2021, which was related to some of the jokes he made during his streams. This incident led to him being banned from using the internet while awaiting trial, although we would later learn from a police report the true reason as to why he was banned off the internet. CodComedyTJ has since made a return to the internet, posting a 40-minute video to his YouTube channel explaining where he's been. He would go on to dedicate his time and effort into exposing Gypsy Crusader in a series of videos, ironically for the same reason I'm making this video on TJ. You've more than likely heard of Gypsy if you're watching this video, but for those who don't know, Gypsy Crusader is also another controversial and edgy omegle streamer from the Bitwave days. Now, where do I fit into all of this, and why am I making this video? So, I got into contact with TJ back in late 2021, and he helped me promote my Telegram channel when I first decided to jump on the dying hype train of offensive omegle trolling. We quickly became friends, I was promoted as a moderator in his Telegram server, we would help each other out in our content creation, and basically, the rest was history. That's the short version anyway, but it sums up our relationship pretty well. Following his transition to YouTube, I helped him out with tags, descriptions, and even made most of his thumbnails on his channel. You can actually tell which thumbnails are mine and which are his, funnily enough. Mine are the good ones and his are the shitty ones. Anyway, we both worked together to expose Gypsy Crusader for grooming children, collaborated in each other's videos, and even streamed together. At this point, me and TJ were pretty tight and we trusted each other. So what happened? Where did it all go wrong? Let's start from the beginning when I first suspected TJ of his clandestine behaviour. On the 8th of June, I received a message on Discord from a user named KY_GG. He explained that a friend of his named Grace was victim to grooming instigated by CodComedyTJ. He would go on to explain to me how TJ manipulated and groomed his friend Grace and that he had evidence to back it up. I was reluctant to believe anything he was telling me since he would refuse to send a sliver of proof to back up his claims. Instead, he insisted I add a Snapchat account named BrookeJadeXOXO, who I assumed was Grace so that I could be sent the evidence. It should be noted, at the same time this person was messaging me, I was relaying pretty much everything he was sending me back to TJ. I also obfuscated a lot of the questions this individual would ask me because I didn't want to give him anything. He just seemed too untrustworthy at the time for me to give him a genuine answer. Especially when I asked him to prove his claims about TJ grooming this supposed 15-year-old girl, Grace, only then to instruct me to add a random Snapchat account I've never even heard of before so I can be sent the evidence. Why not just post it in Discord? It just didn't make any sense why I had to add someone on Snapchat to get this vital info. Just send it. And at the time, I thought, why would CodComedyTJ, the person who made multiple videos exposing Gypsy Crusader for grooming children, do the exact same thing as he did? It seemed pretty ridiculous to me and just very unlikely. At this point, it was impossible in my mind that this person was telling the truth. My theory was that this clown was a victim to TJ's shenanigans back in the day, be it from trolling, or maybe he was just a hater or a troll himself. I wasn't sure. Only until I accepted an invitation to a group call was I convinced otherwise, and I must admit, I had absolute confidence beforehand that none of the allegations were true, so I joined the call willingly. So while all this was happening, I was relaying everything back to TJ. And I was his friend at the time, so I informed him of these accusations. And why wouldn't I? We had each other's backs, so I just did what friends do because I trusted him and he trusted me. I even suggested we both join the call to refute these obvious false claims. And this was when I got suspicious. TJ strangely refused, stating, "I don't want to give these f***s attention," which isn't the TJ I know at all. Backing down at an opportunity to quash the allegations and prove his innocence, or even just to troll them for a bit of a laugh. But he didn't even want to do that. He even told me to tell them once I joined that, yeah, we're all p***os, so what? Which I found really strange as to why I would say that. No one else was in question but himself, and it wasn't even funny. For some reason, my shadow play wouldn't pick up desktop audio or my microphone in most of these videos. It was right after I bought some overpriced JBL headset that messed up my audio tracks. I've since reverted to Sennheisers, which are far superior in every way. So if some of the screen recordings I show in this video don't have audio, then that's my explanation. As a side note, I also didn't capture TJ's full conversation when I was recording. I did have plans to go back and screenshot and save messages, but in the following days he cleared that part of our conversation relating to the accusations made against him, which I also found was really strange behaviour. But anyway, I joined the voice chat to find myself in the presence of Grace and her friends, and they shared everything with me. I really don't know where to start. Honestly, what I saw, what I read, made me sick to my stomach. I've never seen anything quite like it. First of all, there was an abundance of TJ's nudes with the most disturbing and horrible captions you can imagine. Chat logs of TJ fantasizing about raping Grace and even bringing up the idea of involving her little sister, who was 8 years old at the time. It might just be the worst case of pedophilia I've ever seen, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It was a lot to take in at the time, and at first, I didn't want to believe what was being shown to me. I defended TJ as best I could when I was first met with this information. However, with the considerable amount of evidence and how strong it was, it is conclusive that this wasn't faked. This was undoubtedly his doing, his decision making, and his biggest mistake. If there was a competition on how to fuck your life up as quickly and horribly as possible, TJ gets a gold medal. Grace explained to me that TJ first contacted her through the quick add feature on Snapchat. How this was possible might have been because TJ and Grace shared a mutual friend at the time. To put things into context, Grace would later write a statement explaining her side of the story and experience with TJ, which we'll go over right now so everyone is up to speed with the events moving forward. I'm going to read it word for word. Mind you, there is a few grammatical errors scattered about, but this is Grace's story. Hello, my name is Grace. I am freshly 16 years old and I am here to talk about my story with CodComedyTJ. TJ first added me on Snapchat when I was 15 years old on the 14th of March 2024 this year. I knew who TJ was, however, I never saw any of his streams and I didn't even know he was back on the internet. All I knew was that he was a racist streamer who was funny. When he first added me, I thought it's probably not him, maybe it's my friend, since at the time my friend Kay was a big fan of him. I asked my friend if it was him and he said, "No dude, that's the real TJ, WTF." And then continued to show me a voice recording TJ sent to him on the same Snapchat account since Kay already had him added because he made backgrounds for him. The first thing TJ said was "Hi X," which I replied with "OMG, I think I know you." And I asked him if it was the real TJ. He then proceeded to take a photo of himself and say, "Yeah, it's me," flirting with me. We started talking for a couple of minutes and I sent him photos of what I looked like since he asked, and out of 9 photos, I sent one was a little revealing but not too much. I'll show you in the chat below. He replied to that one instantly with "Your body's so nice," and started talking about how nice my chest and my figure is, without checking my age. He was interested in my alt style, so I showed him some snap photos of me going through my tights, only showing my legs. One thing led to another, and on the first day of us talking, he sent me nudes and videos of him f***ing off to them, but made it so I couldn't save and chat. He begged for some back and I felt overwhelmed and pressured, so I did. After he was done, we started talking for a while and he was talking about how he's in Norway meeting up with an admin and how he would like to come see me after he moves back to the UK. We talked for ages, all day and night, sending snaps for 3 days, getting to know each other, when in one snap of me in my uniform he said, "Cute school uniform." So that's when on the second day I asked him, "Why haven't you asked for my age yet, lol? Do you know how old I am?" Bearing in mind all the snaps I sent him was in my uniform. He put, "Well, I assume you're 17. I put, "Don't block me, but I'm 15. He then said, "Oh, that's fine, and when's your birthday?" But instead of being freaked out, he started getting hornier and hornier by the day. Every single day he would ask for nudes when he knew I was 15. On the third day, he asked me to be his girlfriend on a phone call. This was the 17th of March. He told me he has seen me before in his Telegram group back in 2021 or whatever, saying he found me attractive and he was going to DM me that day. I was 13. I told him I would have been too young for him when he replied with, "I think 20 and 13 would have been cute. I would have waited until you were legal age to date you." By the way, he's 24. He was 20 when he did the streams. His birthday is the 17th of May. Mine's the 13th of April. We dated for 3 months. We knew each other from the 14th of March and ended the relationship on the 7th of June. We dated and got closer, and I was blind to many red flags. Every single day, he would beg and beg for me to send nudes. I haven't never sent stuff like that in my life, and he would guilt trip me saying, but if you loved me, you would do it, and pretend I did something to hurt him and be upset. And the only way to get us talking again was for me to send nudes. Every time I refused because I was too tired, he would say disgusting, horrible things about me, saying I never really loved him, and if I actually cared about him, I would send more nudes. Every argument, we never talked until I sent nude after nude, video after video of me naked, and he would forget what we argued about. He never really cared about me, he only cared about my body. Every time I was out with family, he would ask for a fit check, then say, is there a bathroom nearby? Go to the bathroom, and then when I did, he would say, nudes now. I had to send again and again until he finished, in the positions he wanted and videos he wanted. So this is the detailed explanation Grace would give me relating to her experience with TJ. While I was listening to her account of events, sifting through chat logs and evidence in Discord, TJ would ask me if anything had happened yet, as I was still in contact with him as I was being illuminated that night. And then it occurred to me. TJ at the time must have not known the evidence I was shown existed. Snapchat notifies its users when chat history or snaps are screen captured, but because most of what was documented had been photographed with another iPhone, TJ was unaware of this incriminating evidence against him. After the Discord call finished, I kept in contact with TJ and told him the evidence they provided was inconclusive, so I could remain on a neutral basis with him, while also maintaining contact with Grace so I could further learn her recollection of events as time moved forward, as I wasn't nearly as clued in then as I am now. TJ must have assumed I wasn't sent any concrete evidence that night, nor did he think it existed. Perhaps because he solely relied on Snapchat notifications to inform him if anything was screen captured, which he was never notified of because Grace photographed everything with a completely different device. In Grace's statement, she mentioned, he sent me nudes and videos of him whacking off to them, but made it so I couldn't save and chat. So not only if Grace took screenshots of their conversation would TJ be notified, but some snaps couldn't be saved at all. However, I did follow this up and query Grace about this, and in a Telegram message she stated the following. I saved all his snaps in the chat and he saved all mine, but when he started deleting shit, I started taking photos, not screenshots of the chat, with another phone. Them 3 photos that were saved to my camera roll were photos he let me save because I told him it was unfair that every single snap I sent of my nudes, he not only saved to chat, but camera roll too. And when we both started deleting shit, we deleted each other's snaps and messages. Then he blocked me. And in another Telegram post, she also stated, he made me delete everything, including my snaps and chats as well as his. So he thinks I have no proof against him in the future, and he thought if we delete everything, he can't be accused of anything. Well, you're wrong, TJ. So it's my understanding that TJ only let Grace save certain photos to her camera roll, but did let her save messages and chat, while he was allowed to do what he wanted with the photos she sent him. And we're talking about nudes here, just so you all know, these aren't just selfies. Even with all the conclusive evidence right in front of me, I still found it hard to come to terms with it all. I was committed to digging deeper, hearing both sides and understanding the full story. I was, however, particularly interested in how TJ would address these serious accusations, which I did plan to ask him about in the coming days. TJ would further explain himself 2 days later on Telegram. I was able to capture some of the conversations we had about the matter with Shadowplay. He iterates his side of the story, basically stating how he fell for a girl that looked like Bella Delphine, and did so because he was down bad. He claims she was 17 and that she sent him a fake ID at the beginning of their relationship, implying that this was a smear campaign to undermine and slander his reputation from the very beginning. I knew for a fact that this wasn't true, as she sent her school ID and later her passport to prove she was 15 during her relationship. Our full conversation on the 10th of June went as follows. I first asked him, why did you delete all that history, bro? To which he answered, I'm at the missus right now. One thing I forgot to mention, he was already in a relationship with a girl from Germany at the time. So he was cheating on his girlfriend with a minor. And from my understanding, TJ's girlfriend didn't even care that she was cheated on when she found out about this. I have this feeling that TJ has somehow kept his girlfriend in the dark about this to present day. I was under the impression that the girl TJ was seeing was a traditional girl, but I'm not so sure about that now. If she was, then she definitely wouldn't still be with him, but I have no idea about their current relationship status as I haven't heard from her since the start of this drama. So who really knows? TJ would then say, "I'm surprised no drama yet though, but I don't care about my wiener getting leaked. I've got all the proof she said she was 17. And a recording of when she called me yesterday and said, I photoshopped my school ID and I was baiting you the whole time. You're not very smart, TJ." In the most evil, witchy fucking voice and tone you could imagine, dude. Some girls are like outright fucking demons. Between the 8th and 10th of June, I told TJ that I saw his nudes when I was on call with Grace. But I think he must have been under the impression that I only saw the nudes he allowed Grace to save, which were the ones on her camera roll. The majority of the nudes that I saw were the ones photographed with another phone. The ones with the extremely disturbing and explicit captions TJ never hoped to see the light of day. I've mentioned this twice already, but again, I'm pretty sure TJ at the time must have thought that I only saw the tame material, if you want to call it that. But I had seen everything at this point. Moving on, I respond with, "That's wild, bro," to which he would state, "Dude, like outright, you're not very smart, TJ. You fell for everything. I only sent nudes to bait you. Then when you FaceTimed me one time, I screen recorded it because you're not very smart. Then I checked and I see that one of the stores in the background was in I know that's where you live, TJ. Shit is wild." Just quickly, this is not where TJ lives anymore, so this isn't doxing. Now's your cue to make another false privacy report, TJ, because I know you're going to anyway. Steering off topic here a little, but I actually plan on making a collage of all the false reports you've made and then frame it on my bedroom wall. Just as a reminder of how much stress I've put you through. Because quite frankly, you deserve it. Anyway, moving on. Then that same school ID that they sent you, she sent me, but photoshopped the year, I'm guessing. I sent this shit to Napalm ages ago too and was like, "Dude, there's something off about this. Is this shit real?" And it said her date of birth was 05, which at the time would have made her 17. I ask him to send a voice note, but he dodges the request saying, "I will when I'm on my PC." But dude, it was like outright evil. Like imagine this emoji while she said it. "I baited you the whole time and I've already contacted 3 PDF file groups who are going to come carve things into your skull, TJ." Basically, this bitch begged me to do age play with her and I was like, Then she fucking begged and I was like, you know, down bad I guess, and this bitch looked like Bella Delphine, so I fell for it like a dumb cunt, but I got everything saved, so I'm chillin'. I was in contact with Grace at the time and she denied all of what he claimed as I was relaying what TJ was saying, now back to Grace. So part of his story is that he got speech checked by Grace into doing age play with her, when he already knew she was a minor anyway. I asked him, "Do you have the photo ID saved before it was photoshopped?" TJ replies, "No, I only have the one where it says 06 in it, which I assume if she really was 15 at the time, means that one's the photoshopped one." So TJ claims he was sent a Photoshop version of a real photo ID, the same student ID I was sent on the 8th. Suspiciously, when I asked about it, he made no effort to provide the fake ID he was sent, which led me to question whether it existed at all and that it could have just been TJ spinning a web of lies. Which he was. He continues on, "Yeah dude, this cunt is vile, but the KYZGG guy rated my comments and Cami stream yesterday too, right? And I'm 99.99% sure it's one of Truxton's old group, the group of little doxy swatty f***s. If they set up for a girl to fake her age and send me nudes for 4 months, just to see my get some out of context texts, that might honestly be the wildest shit I could ever think of. What do you think the best bet is? Just nuke them all and don't give attention? I already tried to press her yesterday saying, "Why the fuck would you tell me you're 17 just to tell someone else you're 15 after begging me to do age play, which I have saved proof of, by the way." You'll hear this a lot from TJ throughout this video. "I've got the proof, I've got 10 minutes of voice recordings of this person saying this, I've got everything saved." Just a bunch of false promises he makes to keep his friend circle and fans from boycotting him. You'll notice as time goes on that he doesn't really care about the fact that what he's done is wrong. Rather, only because he was caught. Now, his whole life is him constantly trying to keep it in the dark from his community and evade the police. Moving forward. She goes, "You didn't save anything, TJ, you have no proof." I then send her a picture of her literally cutting herself saying, "Why won't anyone do it with me? I have daddy issues and it just..." And I was like, what the fuck? But I was horny, I sinned like a retard. But then she started saying, "Haha, and thanks to your friend, we now have more proof you're a PDF." and that he's a PDF too. And I was like, yeah, we're all PDFs, cope about it. And she had a meltdown. I go along with his pathetic charade and reply with, lol, makes no sense. He would then state, yeah, I tried reasoning and being like, you do know I have every single thing saved where you said you was 17 about to be 18, right? And dude, it's like I wasn't even speaking to a coherent human at that point. It was just witch shit spewing out of her mouth, like an evil laugh, and I will never stop, TJ. It was fucking demonic. He continued dribbling on, saying, yeah, it's a funky one. Should we try speak to the cunt in a call and drop all the proof, or do you think the best bet is to just ignore and block? I told him to ignore and block them for now, saying if it was serious, like I said the other day, they would have contacted the police by now. Funnily enough, the reason TJ fled the UK was because I was the one who encouraged Grace and her friends to take it to the police. And it's looking pretty serious, isn't it now, TJ? TJ continues to send messages, finally saying, yeah, I'd rather it not get posted, but then again, it's just my I don't really care. But if they had movement or it was solid, I'm sure it'd already be spreading like wildfire. You know what I mean? So I think it's just a strange way of begging for attention, but sending a girl on a 4-month mission to spam me with her booty hole just to get my weird roleplay shit out of me is fucking wild. Before anyone says that the chat history between me and TJ is faked, I forwarded our whole conversation to my saved messages, because I knew he'd delete it again, which he did. I've also exported our entire chat history up until the 8th of June, which has voice notes, photos, and videos he sent me from the same account that he's using in the screen recording. To end the conversation that night, he would send a series of voice messages to me playing victim and expressing his regret from getting himself into this mess.
But anyway, what do you think the best bet with this whole situation is? Do you think best bet is to just block and mute every chance? And then just, you know, hope you move on? Because, dude, this voice note was like vile, bro. Like, it was disgusting. I have a voicemail on my phone as well, dude. That's the exact same saying, I bet you didn't know that I'm a stalker. I bet you didn't know that, TJ. I'm gonna stalk you for the rest of your life. Word by fucking word, that's what it said, dude. It was insane. It was actually fucking insane. Like a 5-minute voicemail on my number. Not on Telegram, not on Snapchat. On my fucking number, bro. And it was legit. This bitch saying, yo, I'm gonna stalk you forever, TJ. You'll never get rid of me. It was fucking weird, dude. But dude, that is crazy, bro. That is actually crazy. Like, but you know, it's one of those where I see that it's like, you know, you mess up in the past, it comes back to bite you in the ass in the future. And, yeah, bit of a funky one, dude. But it's a lesson learned, obviously. Massive lesson learned. But fucking hell, bro, I didn't know bitches. Well, obviously I knew the bitches could be vile, but this is on like a whole other level of being vile.
You could tell he sounded nervous and was even stuttering, which is normal if somebody legitimately tried to slander and defame you like this. But if TJ had all the proof that she said she was 17 before they entered into a relationship, why would he say that he messed up and this was it coming back to bite him on the ass when the age of consent in the UK is 16? For the record, which I think is way too young anyway. But why would he say that he messed up if he entered into a relationship with someone he knew was of legal age? Because he did state that he had evidence of her admitting she was 17 and even a supposed fake ID she sent. If this was actually true, TJ would have means to sue for defamation and entrapment against Grace. So why is he so stressed if he has everything saved? But I got everything saved, so I'm chilling. Remember, TJ? But he's obviously not chilling if you listen to what he actually says and how he sounds when he says it. He knows he's guilty, the nervous voice, stuttering, and him admitting that he messed up says to me that he did in fact mess up, the only thing he was telling the truth about. He just wasn't being straightforward about how he messed up. It's almost as if he was trying to come clean to me without telling me the details, which in this circumstance is called lying. The evidence he claims to have on Grace has still yet to be posted. I'm not sure why TJ would prolong proving his innocence if he had all the evidence was a setup and that she faked and lied about her age from the very beginning. Maybe because it doesn't exist and he was telling fibs. Grace made claims TJ groomed her when she was 15 years old, and she had the evidence to back up her story. Whereas TJ denied these claims and said that it was a setup. He claimed he had evidence of this but still hasn't posted anything that proves his claims. So you could see how this might have looked from my perspective at this point in time. This concluded our conversation for the night. TJ wouldn't contact me again about the matter until the 25th of June, the day he found out I was working against him. But before we move forward, let's take a look at the evidence against TJ. Most of it I won't be able to show on YouTube, so if you want the full and uncensored expose, follow the links in the description to the CodComedyTJ Exposed channels. There's a Discord server, a Telegram channel, and even a website. Pick your poison, because I won't sugarcoat it, it's hard to get through. First things first, Grace's ID. Obviously this is important as it proves that she was 15 during her relationship with TJ. She's provided me with her student ID and her passport, both of which have the same date of birth. She's even taken a video with different angles to prove that it isn't fake. As we already know, Grace claimed in her statement, TJ first added me on Snapchat when I was 15 years old on the 14th of March 2024 this year. And this stands true if we look at this screenshot where you can see 2 timestamps that say the 14th and 16th of March. So we know that chat history goes as far back as the 14th. Grace was born on the 13th of April 2008. Meaning that TJ was in fact speaking to Grace when she was 15. Here's a video of CodComedyTJ's Snapchat account prior to its deletion. For those who had TJ added will know this is him. It's even the same birthday as TJ's, and I understand this doesn't prove it's him. But that leads me to all the photos and videos TJ sent to Grace from the same account. I mean, just look at him. We've got all these photos. Daddy is sleepy, smiley face. Of course, now be good. Love heart, of course, very sleepy. I don't smile much in pictures. Oh my god. More photos confirming it's him, and here's a good reason why he probably doesn't smile. Here's a video call he had with Grace. There isn't any sound, but you can watch the full video on the Telegram channel. Here he is, blowing a kiss to Grace, checking himself out, acting like his shit doesn't stink. Photos of him again on video call with Grace, and even a minute-long voice call they had.
I know my mom's not home, okay? Me too.
That's crazy. So your mum died of liver, no not liver, you said kidney.
Kidney something.
Kidney stones?
That's where you can't stop shit in your pants.
No, wait, I don't know, I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm thinking of disease. Okay, well I never said you were TJ, shut the fuck up, I'll beat you up. When I see you it's on site. Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. I won't be talking, I won't be talking.
Come back on the chat right now. I want to get this done so I can show my video.
Bet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now that we have undeniable proof that TJ was operating this account, let's read through some of the conversations he had with Grace. These aren't in any particular order, I was able to organise them somewhat as they were sent to me in a bit of a jumble. But anyway, here we can see TJ discussing how he wishes he could have adopted Grace at the age of 12, stating, "I wish I could have just adopted you when you was 12 and I was 18. Could have been having babies all this time." TJ asks Grace to surprise him with what would be considered CP while he goes to the store. He states, you said you'd record, I don't know, surprise me, but while I go to the store, if you could make daddy a long video, no blur, where you get in all positions and bend over and slowly pull down. The rest of this message is too vulgar to read on YouTube, even if I censor some of the words, so let's just move on. Here he says he has the horny problem, and then goes on to state, "I can't wait to just be behind you with my blank inside you." I'm quickly just going over what I deem relevant in these screenshots. I don't want to spend too much time on these because YouTube might not like it. Even though I'm censoring most of it, there is a lot to get through and I can't be making this video forever. TJ warns Grace not to blur any more photos, stating, "Now, this is your final warning. If you dare blur a single fucking thing ever again, mark my fucking words, I promise you that." And I'd rather not finish reading the rest of that message. It should be noted, the same photos he coerced Grace into sending him were likely used as revenge porn against her later down the line. Also, he mentions in this message, "Take some pictures I can save," which means he's in possession of CP. TJ admits that he plans on getting Grace pregnant the first time they meet, even going as far as detailing his plans to grape her if she resisted. More message history of TJ's desire to violently grape and even choke Grace unconscious if she tried to fight back. TJ states, "Because I crave graping you so fucking much you have no idea." And I'd choke you unconscious if you tried to fight back. TJ also encouraged Grace to rub herself to Daddy's big blank, stating he'll be forcing it inside her all the time and that she just has to get used to it. Here he is asking Grace for her childhood photos so that he can, do his business. Also, notice how young Grace says she is in these photos. 11 years old, and TJ is pleasuring himself over these photos. He then said he would have intercourse with her at the age she was in the photos, despite how young she was. Out of all the message history I've gone through, this particular message is still too hard to read out loud. So I will have to fully censor this part of the conversation. Also, I must emphasize how annoyed TJ gets when Grace censors parts of the photos. It's clear he's attracted to a younger audience. Why else would he be frustrated at the fact that she's censoring them? I think that Grace deep down probably knew this wasn't normal, hence why she did so. TJ then refers to a photo Grace sent him, saying, "I'm gonna keep this one, and if anyone ever asks who it is, I'll just say my daughter." He also states that this whole thing is a new kink to him, despite police reports proving CodComedyTJ was in possession of CP prior to this incident. And that's something I want to talk about. I was able to get my hands on TJ's police report from 2021 when he got arrested, and this is not a new kink at all for him. He's been a PDF file for quite some time now. CodComedyTJ wasn't just arrested for hate speech and inciting violence alone. If you direct your attention to Category B Example Image Reference 3, the description reads, "This picture shows 4 naked males approximately 8 to 10 years of age. One of the males is lay on his front, whilst the other 3 males are sat in a circle around his buttocks, one of which can be seen holding their." This proves that TJ was also in possession of CP, which would better explain his ban from the internet. As one might know, most PDF files have restricted internet access, which is a more fitting punishment for that crime, and just makes more sense. Also, he had bestiality videos on his hard drive too. So that begs the question, why would this be a new kink to him if he had this crap on his hard drive? In saying that, TJ first contacted me during his internet ban, which would have also been 2021, if I remember correctly. He may have been using multiple devices to avoid surveillance, or maybe he only had limited restrictions. I'm not too sure. But that was the understanding at the time, that he was restricted from using the internet, awaiting his trial for more or less saying the N-word on omegle. And he's still running with that narrative to this day. It is true he was inciting violence and being racist, but it's clear he didn't give his audience the whole truth at the time. Another message I have to censor but wish I could reveal so I can show you how disgusting this human is, but can't because it's just so off the rails. I'm sure most of you will be able to piece together what he's saying here. If not, he's making reference to Grace's behind. That's all I'll say. Here, TJ continues to stress to Grace how much he needs these photos unblurred, stating, "This unblurred would be so fucking hot." And, "Oh my god, I can't believe you made me have a PDF kink for you." So he openly admits to Grace that he has a PDF kink in these messages. TJ, that's just called being a PDF file, and it's not a kink. It's a disorder, and you're pure evil for it. I don't care if you can't control yourself. There's simply not a place on earth for the likes of you, as many will agree. TJ states in response to a photo of Grace eating an ice cream at a very young age, "Hee, I'd blindfold you and tell you to keep licking the ice cream but replace it with my blank." He also said he wanted to grape her in the behind and would have done so anyway, even despite Grace saying she was a weird child, as if her being weird would have stopped him. I only mention this because she states she was a child in writing when referring to these photos, as you might not be seeing these photos on YouTube because I've already censored them. For those who have already seen the CodComedyTJ Exposed channel, you may have noticed I've censored the originals even more so you can't even see Grace's face. Nothing explicit is happening in these photos if anyone's curious, just childhood photos of Grace doing what kids do at that age. I just don't feel comfortable showing photos of children who are at the beach or pool in swimwear on my YouTube channel. Even though Grace has already censored everything appropriately, I just don't feel comfortable posting photos of children in that context. It might matter, it might not, but better safe than sorry. Moving on. In a string of disturbing messages, TJ manipulates and grooms Grace into performing sexual acts, as he states, "My cute little toy, I'll drag you outside by your hair and grape you so hard. Much better, much, much better. Every snap you should be looking directly into daddy's eyes while you be a little." You can pause to read the rest of his screenshot if you want to. Here we can see TJ state, "I'm gonna stroke my blank to what you sent me right now, okay?" To which we can all assume is CP. And yet again, TJ's mad he didn't get the full uncensored experience. It's hard to read through these without feeling utter disgust. TJ would yet again confirm his attraction to children when he states in the following messages, "I've been looking at your 12-year-old nudes for like the best 15 minutes, hee hee, and you should have messaged me when you was 12. It just occurred to me that reading these out loud can be cut and taken out of context for TJ to use against me. You know, like, oh, that wasn't me, it was Mr. Weenie that actually said that. I'm sure he'll use it as a soundbite in one of his exposed channels on me one day. Who gives a shit? He's not exactly the most credible person after all this anyway. Moving on, TJ states, "Babe, I don't care how old you would have been, you're my baby." After Grace asked if he would have still dated her if she was 8 years old. Luckily, age is just a number for TJ and would have dumped anyone in a heartbeat for Grace at the time. Which I know is not true because he cheated instead. It doesn't end there either. TJ states, "We should make love in the bath every day, smiley face." And how he plans to press Grace's face up against the wall so he can grape her, that they'll never use protection and insists she takes a Plan B pill after he finishes. In these messages, CodComedyTJ asks Grace for more 12-year-old nudes. If anyone is curious as to why these nudes exist, Grace verified the following in a Discord message. The 12-year-old nudes, basically, when I was like 12 to 13, I took some explicit photos of myself but never showed them to anyone. I was a preteen and was getting used to my body, don't judge. I mentioned it to him when he was upset with me and said he would be happier if I sent them. TJ also mentions here that he was grabbing a pen, and this was because he planned on writing Grace's name onto his genitals, which he did, and there is evidence of it. However, I can't show that on YouTube, and I'm not sure I'd want to anyway. All I'll say is, don't forget about the links in the description. Here are additional chat logs where TJ admits to owning what is basically CP of Grace. He states, "Baby, I have your 12-year-old nudes, 100 videos of your face while you do the naughtiest stuff on earth for me." And here again he mentions that he's in possession of her underage nudes. Shortly after the first expose channel was published to Telegram in June, TJ's fans, admins, and even CodComedyTJ himself would acknowledge the grooming of Grace, however claimed the actions of TJ were justified as Grace was apparently a whore, so it didn't matter, according to their broken logic and reasoning. False claims of Grace sending multiple nudes to other men on the internet was spread without evidence, and most of TJ's fans ate it up. Except in these chat logs, we can observe CodComedyTJ making a comment about stealing her innocence. I want to quickly point out that one of TJ's admins, Gnome Chad, also defended him saying it wasn't grooming because Grace wasn't innocent. But here, your master, TJ, says that he stole Grace's innocence. So by that logic, you agree that your god, your puppet master, CodComedyTJ, is a pedophile. Meaning the sexual behaviour TJ would coerce Grace to take part in was in fact a first-time experience, at the same time further proving that this was a grooming incident. Therefore, claims of Grace being a whore, meaning TJ grooming her was justified, can be dismissed without question. Not to mention, even if she was a whore, this wouldn't stop TJ from being labelled a PDF file. Broken logic as I mentioned. She's a whore, everyone, so it doesn't matter what TJ did to her. Guys, I guess if I just murdered someone and then I found out she was a so-called whore, it wouldn't matter or make me a murderer because she was a whore. In this screenshot, Grace claims that she's never sent nudes before and that it's all new to her. CodComedyTJ, his fans, and admins will all lead you to believe that Grace has sent multiple nudes to men over the internet and that she's a known whore, with zero evidence to back up their claims. Again, CodComedyTJ will point out Grace's innocence in the following message. "You're so young and tiny and innocent," right after stating, "You do everything I ask, whenever I ask, however I ask." Let me just read that definition of grooming again. Grooming is when a person builds a relationship with a child, young person, or an adult who's at risk so they can abuse them and manipulate them into doing things. It's safe to say that TJ had a lot of control over Grace at the time. Not to mention, she had never sent nudes to anyone in her life before she met TJ. Why would she now decide to send nudes if not for TJ grooming her to fulfill his pedophilic tendencies? In these screenshots, we can see TJ getting upset over Grace leaving for school instead of fulfilling his pleasures, stating, "I want a blank inside you before you go to school. My little 15-year-old blank." And even stating that he was fully planning on meeting and impregnating Grace, right after sexting with her, which it didn't look like she was playing any part in. I'm pretty sure she was just pretending if we look at her captions. just telling him what he wants to hear so he doesn't blow a fuse. In this screenshot, TJ instructed Grace to moan, "Daddy, make me pregnant," and to fulfill his messed up fantasies while her parents were downstairs. He would also go on to state the following disturbing comment, "And imagine it's daddy's blank graping you as hard as possible." And that concludes most of the message history between TJ and Grace. I'd like to go over what he said on his explicit snaps, but I can't exactly do that on YouTube without repercussions. I can censor his explicit language and his, well, genitals too, but the problem is you can still see his junk in between the lettering on the captions. I don't want to just read them out without actually showing evidence on screen either. So it's time for you, the viewer, to take the initiative to check out the links in the description below, because there is still a lot more to this iceberg than what you'll see in this video. I can, however, show a few more things before we move forward. This, for example, is the audio of a snap TJ sent Grace. I don't think I need to explain what's going on in this video. I'll leave it up to your imagination.
Hey Grace, are you daddy's good girl? Huh? Are you my good girl, Grace?
And for anyone still having their doubts whether TJ actually sent naked photos of himself to Grace before she turned 16, have a look at this. Remember Grace's birthday? That's right, it's the 13th of April. Well, if we look at this timestamp TJ used on his snap, we can see it clearly reads the 7th of April. I know you can't see anything in this photo because I've censored it for obvious reasons. All I'll say is, don't forget about those links in the description. Here's another nasty snap TJ sent Grace with his ding dong out stating, "You'd have let me blank in your 15-year-old blank." TJ even gives a little 5-minute house tour for Grace on video call. There's nothing really notable here apart from the fact that he lives in a dump and that he has a children's cookbook in his kitchen. Whether because he's too stupid to follow grown-ups instructions or if it's for the children he plans to bring over, we'll never know. That was a joke, by the way, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities either. Anyway, that's most of the evidence I was provided with that I can show on YouTube, so let's move forward with the timeline. I also wanted to quickly add before we move on that this chat history between Grace and TJ dating back to April proves yet again he was speaking to a minor. We see a thumbnail that I made for a video that he posted to YouTube on the 3rd of April titled "Shaving the Beard." As we know, Grace was yet to turn 16 as her birthday was on the 13th of April. So there you go. Grace created an exposed channel on Telegram where she was compiling all of the evidence she had on TJ, and over the course of 2 weeks I was going over both parties' stories looking for inconsistencies. Grace's side of events still held up while TJ's wasn't looking good. On the 25th of June, my cover was blown and TJ caught wind of me leaking his admin's usernames. I wasn't doxing if anyone's wondering, I was only passing on usernames to Grace so that she could message the channel link to his admins once it was fully complete. The day the channel was supposed to go public, which was the 25th of June, was also the same day TJ found out that I was no longer on his side, which actually is a coincidence. That's when I was going to let him know that I knew all about what happened. He deleted our entire chat history the second he found out and pretty much started admitting that he's been a PDF file this whole time. I exported the majority of our chat from Telegram, screen recorded everything, and also forwarded our conversation to my saved messages. I confronted him about why he would write Grace on his private parts, and he replied, "Because it made me blank harder." He then went on to explain how grooming a 15-year-old is based, and that he couldn't hear me over the 15-year-old blank he was deep in. Here he admits to liking 14 to 16-year-olds, and that if he had an underage sister, he would have. Here he states he loves underage blank, then asking what's wrong with being a PDF file as if there isn't anything wrong with it. He tried schooling me on what a minor is but failed miserably after I did a quick Google search. I mean, he didn't even know the laws in his own country. Regardless, I don't think he would have followed them anyway. He continues dribbling on, saying that he's s***ing minors and that I'm now a PDF file apparently for actually helping Grace, calling me a simp, blah blah blah. First of all, I wasn't going to stand around when I found out about what TJ was doing. Second, I had nothing to gain from this. I got nothing out of it. If anything, it had an opposite effect in the beginning, and I still don't expect anything. And finally, I simply made a decision to further expose this loser on a bigger scale. As if I'm going to remain friends with this freak knowing what he did. Who literally cares? I'd rather be called a simp than be friends with a PDF file. In reference to the 14-year-old gypsy was grooming from TJ's Exposed video, he states that he himself aims for 15-year-olds, but sometimes can't help himself. He says if Grace was 12, he wouldn't have cancelled that bus ride. Now, for those who are wondering what he's talking about, TJ had organised to travel 2 to 3 hours on a bus and train to hook up with Grace at a hotel he picked out. Grace explained that he woke up late, enraged that she didn't try to call and wake him, and he lost hundreds of dollars on public transport tickets. I'm paraphrasing this story here, so it might be a little different to what I remember because Grace told me on voice chat. I don't have this convo in writing. So TJ says one thing, Grace says another, but TJ isn't at all reliable now, is he? But he reckons he cancelled, which I doubt. So I reckon this is just a massive cope from TJ. He most likely woke up late because he plays games all night and doesn't have a job. I mean, what would have happened if they did meet that day? This whole situation could have played out a lot worse if they did in fact meet. TJ says that he likes to watch CP, calls himself a classy guy right after saying he doesn't want to be caught getting physically intimate with a child. I ask TJ what sort of punishment you get for grooming minors, and he replies, I don't know, a small fine maybe, nothing's going to stop me from grooming minors, and I'll pay the fine then immediately groom another child. White people can't be pedos unless they're under 13, that's European tradition. A minor would be 12, I wish she was 12, actually, my next victim will be 12. He claims that everyone knows he loves minors and says that I should let his relatives know that he f***s children. He also says that him, Cammy and Gnome all exchange CP of the minors they groom, that the police can't f*** the kids nor take out of all the children's p***s he's cream pied. He then goes on to say how he's d***ed many MILFs but actually finds minors way more exciting, that he prefers 13 to 16 year olds and 8-year-olds too if he's feeling spicy. What the fuck? He calls me a PDF file after I ask him to get in a voice call to quash these so-called false rumors, but says I have to pay for his time. Another massive cope. I ask him what happens when his girlfriend finds out about this, and he reckons that she knows and thinks it's funny. I guess they're meant for each other if that's their attitude towards children being groomed. How traditional of her. And while I was having this conversation, he got his admin, Gnome, to remove all of my Discord members as he was still a moderator on my server at the time. He was asking me, what happened to your server, bro? You know, thinking that he executed some power play, but it couldn't have been further from the truth. Who gives a shit? If you watch my channel, then you know I do lots of trolling and cheating and chivalry too. 90% of those Discord members were begging for cheats when they first joined. I never gave them anything, and after that they just left or went inactive. So, well done Gnome, well done TJ, you got me. Thanks for getting rid of all those inactive accounts. Because I also left TJ as a moderator on my YouTube channel, he deleted every single one of my comments on my videos, and then added all my subs to the block list so they couldn't leave comments. So I removed TJ as mod and unblocked all my subs. All I lost was some YouTube comments. A small price to pay for exposing a PDF file. Very petty TJ, very petty. These would be the last messages TJ sent me before he went into full damage control, embarking on his little crusade to slander, make up lies, fabricate evidence, and harass Grace furthermore. After the first Exposed channel went public, the news spread quickly throughout the Telegram community. TJ came out and addressed the situation by telling more lies, saying the photos are real but the captions are fake. He states, "She's worked with Mr. Weenie to fake it all. I got 10 minutes of her saying she's now dating Mr. Weenie to make me jealous, which would also make him a PDF file. I got recordings of her photoshopping her ID to say she's 17 on it." Despite claiming to have proof of all of this, he refused to ever publish the evidence he claimed to have. To this date, these claims have yet to be proven by TJ. But before that, he was admitting to being a PDF file in Catboy Cammy's stream chat, with hundreds of victims, mind you. He plays it off in a sarcastic manner in order to disguise it as a sort of edgy joke. It's not a good look either way. It's at this point you'll start to see how many different stories TJ concocts and how he ends up digging his own grave. CodComedyTJ would then go on to harass Grace on multiple phone numbers after he got exposed for being a PDF file. He even went on to state the following, "I'm sure your fans would love to see your nudes," implying he was in possession of CP and did intend to leak them, which he did, according to one of his admins known as Freaky Andre. A channel going by the name Deceased E-Girl Exposed, later renamed Grace Exposed, was conveniently published shortly following the news of TJ. TJ tried to make it seem as if he wasn't the one who made the channel, but it was obvious it was him. Otherwise, how else would his admins find the page so quickly, if not for TJ sending it to them first? Freaky Andre sent Grace the channel link, to which he stated, "I just saw you're blank." A former admin of the CodComedyTJ Telegram channel, known as El Dorado, also messaged Grace stating the following, There's a whole group of your exes on Discord exposing you apparently. That's what I was told. Grace would state the following: I barely have any exes, and I know them all in real life, and I've never had sex or sent sexual things to them. Grace's story also matching when she told TJ the following on Snapchat: I have never sent nudes, it's all new to me. Meaning that there could have been only one person who was in possession of Grace's underage nudes before the Grace Exposed channel was published. CodComedyTJ. Remember, TJ clearly states he was in possession of Grace's nudes in this message, so who else but him? Another channel sprang up called CodComedyTJ Unexposed, obviously made by TJ in an attempt to debunk the already conclusive evidence on him. These two images are what he claims to be an example of a real and a fake snap. Try not to laugh, but in this post he claims the following. The left picture is a normal snap. The right picture is evidence of the allegations. With the help With the help of police, we can confirm that the text in the images has been tampered with. Orange/red pixels means tampered/change resolution. Black pixels are the original resolution. Not only is text completely tampered with, it also shows that the picture on the phone screen has a different resolution from the rest of the overall picture, indicating that the picture was already sent through an app, downloaded, and then reposted. Feel free to confirm this with any digital picture analysis software or with anyone who works in IT/forensics. TJ claims the police confirmed the text and the images were tampered with, providing zero proof this happened. While making up a bunch of digital forensics mumbo jumbo, he would actually post this, thinking it was sufficient evidence to prove it was faked. What an idiot. Grace also responded saying, Snapchat says nothing about orange and red pixels, meaning it's fake. That's bullshit you just made up on the spot. Even Google is confused by what you mean. Stop editing your own photos. Also, the police haven't confirmed that with you because the police and CPS call me every day to update me on further information and updates, and they haven't even spoke to you. CodComedyTJ, digital forensics expert, now qualified mathematician, then attempts to debunk a screen recording of his Snapchat profile. He reckons if you slow this video down to 0.2 speed, for 4 frames you can see a white square covering the top of the screen. 0.2 times 4 equals 8. I don't want to be that guy, but that's actually incorrect, but I know what you mean, TJ. He continues, the smallest CapCut size is 0.8 seconds. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I honestly don't even know what he's trying to convey here. Is he saying because it's laggy at full speed, it's fake? Who cares? It's probably just slow. I've never even heard of CapCut before anyway. He then points out that you can see an edit blurring into the username. TJ, you zoomed right into a low resolution photo, and you think the edges on the font being blurry is an edit? You're just an idiot. TJ would then go on to contact the Exposing PDF Files Telegram channel to send out of context videos of Grace and her sister. These videos are censored in such a way to make them seem as if something nefarious is taking place, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The channel made a post on Grace with the 2 aforementioned videos stating, it appears to be a little girl making sexual moves on a grown woman. Sure, it may appear that way when censored and taken out of context. However, Grace also addressed this post stating, there's only 2 videos that TJ forced me to send. One of them way out of context when I tried taking a photo of my cleavage for TJ because he asked me to and we were dating back then. And my sister blocked me from taking it, hence why the video has the caption, she won't get off me. TJ used to guilt trip me into sending videos of my sister who he knew was 12. He asked me to send photos and videos of her naked in the bath and told me to be naked in front of her and record it. I refused and refused many times, but he got angry every time I refused to do so. The same channel then posted an ID of Grace's passport, which stated she was 21. The post went as follows. Passport reveals child Grace is 21 years old. What in the heck is going on? Whatever, I'm done with this, I'm calling the police. When in reality, they were sent a photoshopped version of the original passport, which actually says she was born in 2008, not 2003. I already debunked this fake passport in a separate video I made, but recently, an individual known as McTootie came forward and admitted that he photoshopped the passport for TJ. He explained that TJ wanted him to edit the ID to make it look like Grace was over the age of 18. McTootie stated that he should have known it was weird why TJ wanted fabricated evidence to back up his claims. He also revealed TJ's plans to fake messages of Grace using a duplicate Snapchat account. According to McTootie, the plan was to make it look like Grace admitted she faked her snaps. However, small details such as her bit emoji and snap score would instantly prove that it's not her if they tried faking anything. One of the moderators from the Exposing PDF Files channel, known as EP Media Group, would post conversations they had with Grace where it appears she admits to faking her ID. However, this was after EP Media Group edited a past message in the chat history to say, "Did you fake your ID?" conveniently edited before a message where Grace said, "Yes, 100%. It's clear at this point that EP Media Group was in cahoots with CodComedyTJ and had no intentions of truly exposing PDF files. In fact, quite the opposite, defending them. Editing past messages to deliberately mislead people into believing a false narrative. Even the version of Grace's passport they decided to post was a proven fake. But stated in another post, "We used our insiders at UK law enforcement to provide us a proper docs, and it reveals the child molester, Grace, is 21 years old." I truly do wonder why law enforcement would provide them with a fake passport of Grace. The very same passport that McTootie came forward to admit that he photoshopped for CodComedyTJ to use. And we all know TJ isn't some insider in UK law enforcement. The truth always comes out in the end, TJ. You've literally been exposed. I don't know if this is another channel TJ made or if he renamed the CodComedyTJ Unexposed channel to CodComedyTJ Truth, but you can clearly read "officially endorsed by Exposing PDF Files," which would confirm the association between the two parties. So much disinfo was spread by TJ at this time that Grace went from being 17 years old to 19 years old and then to 21 years old. TJ lies so frequently that he forgets his initial lies and spins new ones without even knowing. There isn't one straight story that comes from TJ in all of this mess that can prove his innocence. Not one. It's why he hasn't addressed it on YouTube or any other of his socials, because he knows if this news is exposed to a large enough audience, then it's over for him. The fallout that followed when people learned about the news made TJ's situation much worse. Exes, family, and old internet friends would come out of the woodworks to share their experiences they had with TJ. Amongst them is Danielle Lunn, an old ex-girlfriend TJ had a sexual relationship with for 3 years when she was 15 to 16. Danielle got into contact with Grace and would describe TJ in their relationship as manipulative, controlling, and violent. "A lot of things happened to me whilst in a relationship with him. I was physically, emotionally, and felt very much used throughout the duration of our 3 years relationship. He was very abusive physically, in which I was attacked on multiple occasions and controlled so severely I was very belittled and was domestically abused for a long time." Danielle would also go on to state the following in an Instagram message. "I was also 15 turning 16 when he was 18/19. He did get arrested, but for something similar about graping younger girls very brutally. There was also an allegation of graping a girl in the woods area. On top of an already disturbing case of grooming, alleged claims of TJ graping younger girls very brutally and in the woods isn't unreasonable to be true, as we are gradually beginning to see this is the type of person CodComedyTJ truly is." One of Grace's friends was able to get into contact with TJ's sister, Demi Louise, who would provide us with his father's contact details. After a phone call, TJ's father stated, "You're very welcome. I'm sorry to say I'm his father, and anything I can help you with regarding that dirty, racist p***." You might already be familiar with this image. If not, this photo was taken by CodComedyTJ after he just had with an alleged 15-year-old girl named Steph. Grace made contact with Steph to confirm whether this rumor was true. Steph stated, "I did have sex with him when I was 15, if that helps at all, because I think he was 19. And that he also gave her the clap." Steph stated that TJ was aware she was 15 when they had sex together at the time. She did, however, state that she wasn't treated badly at all compared to Grace. But this could have been because they only saw each other twice during the 2 weeks they dated. Barely enough time to see if he would show his true colours. If Steph's claims about her being 15 at the time are true, this makes for a total of 3 15-year-olds TJ's been in a relationship with. This one in particular being exclusively sexual by the sounds of it. Some of you might be familiar with another one of TJ's old exes from 2 years ago, Nico. I interviewed her recently and she stated that TJ was a manipulative, jealous and angry individual who'd throw tantrums and gaslight whenever he didn't get what he wanted. Being in a long distance relationship, TJ would often demand what was called a fit check or outfit check before Nico would leave the house. It's clear from this information that TJ was an extremely jealous person as he couldn't even imagine the thought of someone else's eyes on Nico but his own. These outfit checks were to the extreme, however. Nico stated that one time she wore flip-flops outside without his permission, and TJ was furious about it. TJ would gaslight and throw tantrums for reasons like this, according to Nico. She even stated that TJ would have special punishments for when she stepped out of line for occasions like this. Nico claimed TJ would manipulate her into flashing her mother and little sister on video call while they showered. Be it for a split second, TJ would save these videos so that he could use it as ammo as a means to blackmail her if she tried to wrong him in the future. In these screenshots, you can see Nico talking to TJ on the Grace Exposed Telegram channel, formerly known as Deceased E-Girl Exposed, as he does exactly that. Blackmail. Does this situation sound familiar? Does TJ coincidentally attract these types of women, or is it more likely he's a gaslighting, manipulative freak like he's shown to be in these screenshots? It should be noted that TJ denies being the owner of this group but blows his cover when he uses the channel Grace Exposed to argue with Nico about stuff only he would know about. What an idiot. TJ states, "I don't own any CP, I have blurred evidence that you shared CP though, and if I go down, you come right down too." To clear things up, here's the full interview I had with Nico.
Like, when we first started dating, I had blue hair. Like, I've always kind of been an eccentric kind of person, you know? And I went to a Black Lives Matter protest, and he knew that. And, like, that was, I think he said that he found that out and whatever, and that might have been why I don't know. But he helped me get that article taken down because he was like, "I just don't want that up of you. That could be, like, doxing information. Someone could find that out and dox you over it." But then as soon as we broke up, he apparently took a screenshot of the article before he got it taken down, and then he posted it like as an exposed thing. So
Right.
yeah, it's just very silly. Like he always just flips things around and makes things up. But yeah, I just left him because he was actually insane. Like, he was an insane person.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sure you've seen those crying voice notes, the one of him like cutting himself in the mirror. Yeah. Yeah, he just like he started sending me like crying voice notes and him cutting himself because I was like that was it. I broke up with him, and so he sent me like, it was a whole bunch of crying voice notes like saying like, "Please don't leave me," and like, and he sent me a video of him cutting himself, and I screen recorded it because that was the craziest shit that I've ever seen. Like, no one has ever done that to me before.
Jesus Christ. Was there any more than that, or was that the most of it?
No, he's done a lot of that. So it's on the exposed page. There's a picture of him like with a like his face cut or something, and he used to like cut his face whenever I would make him angry. Like, he would literally cut, like, self-harm his face. Like, there's pictures, like selfies that he took trying to be cute with cuts on his face, but it was because he cut himself on his face, like with razor blades. He would cut himself out of anger.
Razor blades? Is there photos of that?
Probably not of him actually cutting himself with a razor blade. No, I didn't take any of that, but there's pictures of himself like with fresh cuts on his face from razor, like, and you can tell that it's self-harm scars. Like, it's,
oh my god,
I
haven't seen that. I've seen the self-harm cuts on his
I'll
like
fat
robot's body, but
you right now.
Okay.
Like this one, like, he's trying to look all cute, but that is a picture of him right after he had cut himself on his face after throwing a fit.
I can't even see it. Like, really? Is that red mark? Is that what he's done?
Yeah.
It's like a paper cut.
No, and I mean, it's not like he would like just gash his face open super deep or anything, but he would like leave marks on his face. He has a lot of scars on his face of where he would get angry and cut himself on his face.
I didn't even notice that. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you, I might have a video where going back to it, the exposed page, the stuff that Grace went through is literally the same exact stuff that like he would put me through. Super crazy. He would like, I was the beginning of it, whenever it first went like really bad. I told you this, but the foot thing, like, he got angry at me for going outside without shoes on or with just flip-flops on one time because he didn't want anyone else to see my feet, but I didn't know that he had a foot fetish. Like, it was just a really weird
and he would
situation.
make you do outfit checks before you leave the house.
Yeah, he would get really mad at me, like, if I didn't send him a picture of I had to like put my phone up and take a full 360 video of what I was wearing, like a, you know, so he would feel comfortable with me going out, and he had to approve.
Yeah.
It's really stupid that I put up with it for so long. I was just in a bad place, but
Yeah.
and then he started asking me for like pictures of, you know, what did you look like whenever you were a kid, you know, and he did, and so I sent him a few pictures of me whenever I was a kid, and I didn't think it was anything weird at first because, you know, sometimes people do that, just comparing baby photos and stuff. But no, he started being like, what if I touched you whenever you were this age? Like, what if I touched, you know, your bare chest whenever you were this age? There was one photo of me whenever I was in a
Yeah.
swimsuit. I was maybe 4 years old, and he was like really sexualizing it. I think the youngest one, I was still a baby, and he was like talking about doing things to me whenever I was a baby. Like he was, yeah.
Wow.
Um, um, and so yeah, the punishment thing. Yeah. Like
What would you have to do
like
to warrant
I mean,
this
it would
punishment?
be. I mean, it would seriously just be anything, things that weren't even like. I remember one time my family likes to go out together a lot. Like my sister, she has a pretty big house and she likes to throw like family parties at her house. We like to ride go-karts there, but he would just get mad at me every time I would go over there. And one time I just really wanted to go because he like isolated me all the time. And I asked him before I went, you know, if he wanted to play games with me, and he said no because he was mad at me. So I was like, okay, I'm going out, and I sent him an outfit of, you know, an outfit of me, what I was wearing. And then he got so mad that I left anyway. He got so mad because I went to what he thought was just going to be a huge party, but it was just a party at my, like a family party. And I still have these messages saved. I'll just send them all to you. It was so bad. That was the worst thing that he ever did. Like, just the messages. Um, um, it was just because I went out. Like that was it. Um, he just didn't like me doing stuff like that. Um,
Would you say he's a jealous person?
yeah, I would do, like, I wasn't allowed to have any kind of guy friends at all. I had to block every single person that was on my phone, like every single guy person that was on my phone. He had all my passwords. He kept all my passwords for a really long time. That's why I was with him for so long. And it's gonna sound really stupid because I know I could have just now I know I could have just changed my passwords, but then it felt like I was trapped. Um, like he had, I don't remember, it's an app. I don't remember the name of the app, but he kept all of my apps or all of my passwords in like this little like password vault type thing.
What is this? Is this him? Is this these photos of him are like burning your photo?
Mm,
What is this?
yeah, that was because I went out with my family.
He's burning
Um,
your photos that you had that he printed out. Did he print them out?
yeah, he was throwing a fit. Like he would throw fits like this all the time. Like I just call it throwing fits because it was really absurd.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah, and you can read the messages, like things he would say was just terrible. The first boyfriend that I ever had passed away. I was 14 years old, and I never deleted any of the photos of us or anything. They were inappropriate photos. They were just, you know, like regular boyfriend, girlfriend, first boyfriend photos.
Right.
And I they were in my Snapchat memories. And one night, whenever I was asleep, because I gave him my passwords, he logged into my Snapchat and freaked out because those photos were there, and he deleted all of them. Again, of my, you know, that was so terrible because I can't get those back. Um,
Jesus. But
and
this is
said,
when you're four. This is when you were 14. And how long ago was
no,
it?
no. Me and him started dating whenever I was 18.
No, but I'm saying that your first boyfriend was at 14.
Yes, yes. This was just like my first little high school relationship.
So 4 years later, he was jealous of something he wasn't even aware of until he
Oh,
came into your
oh
life.
yeah. anything that he would get mad at me for having a life before him. I wasn't allowed. I had to block my best friend because he was mad that me and her like had experiences. We did things without him. Like it was so strange. Like he and I'm so stupid for listening to him, and I'm glad she's still my friend. But um, like he was so just angry that I had a past in general, like that didn't involve him. Anything like he would get mad at anything and everything that he could. Um, but yeah, that was something that he got very upset about because he said that like if one of his exes died, then he would be happy, so I should be too. Um,
Jesus.
yeah, and that like really messed me up. Um, so yeah, I wasn't I um so like basically anything I could do anything and it could warrant like a quote unquote punishment. Like it wasn't.
I was told, I don't know if this is, and like I said, I don't really care because TJ's actions are pretty much excusable at this point. But he said that the
Mm,
reason he broke up with you, I think he said that you split up twice, but the last time it was because you made an OnlyFans and you had a boyfriend, not a boyfriend, but you had a best friend, a male best friend in real life that had a sleepover at your house. Basically, that's what I heard.
yeah, that's not true. I've never had an OnlyFans in my life, and I don't have a male best friend. I do have a girl best friend, and that's the one that he was jealous of,
Oh,
just for
okay.
no reason.
So
Um,
he doesn't have any proof of this, so there couldn't be any.
No, yeah, absolutely not. I would love for him to pull up proof of me having an OnlyFans. I would love to see it because I've never had one. I wish that, I could make that kind of money, but no, didn't happen. Um, like all the things that he said, and we didn't break up twice. Like I was begging him to break up for a really long time, but he was just like saying no, basically, and I just had to eventually block him, and that was it. And that's why he got so fucking mad because he couldn't get the last word, I guess, and then made up a whole bunch of shit. But that just wasn't true. I broke up with him while I was on vacation with my family in Florida because I had just had enough of him trying to argue with me while I was there. And um, that was it. I never spoke to him again other than him trying to constantly contact me. And
Punish you. What did he make you do again? I hate to make you repeat it because I know you were crying.
um, it could be like an array of things. Sometimes he would make me like um, cut myself, like his name. Like I still have a scar from that. It's really stupid. Um, Sometimes he would just make me do like really gross things on camera sexually. And the worst that I've never spoke about until tonight, and it is just terrible, but it really needs to be spoken about because he is this kind of person, and I think people need to know. Um, I have a little sister. I live in a house full of girls, just me, my mom, and my sister. And as a punishment, whenever I would do something wrong, he would ask me, or he would tell me to go go in there with my camera on, like pointed towards them whenever they were showering, so that he could see them, their body. And my she was 14 at the time, so
He forced you to do
um,
that, like,
mhm,
you know, Jesus.
um, and I don't know if there is any proof of that. I don't know if he has any, like, it was just camera on. There was no video. There was no picture. It was just my camera on, like on a, I don't know if he took any video, screen recording, picture, screenshot, anything. But he did say, like, that was another reason why I was so terrified of, like, him for a long time and, like, leaving him saying anything about him because he said that, like, I did that and I, like, he would tell my family and, like, he would tell everyone, and it made me so terrified because I didn't want to do it. I never wanted to do it. I know he probably, like, he has this thing, I think it's called a mega. Do you know what that is?
You mean mega
It's a
upload?
place.
Is it mega upload?
Is that where you can like store files, like a whole bunch of stuff like that?
Did you say omega?
No, not Omega. I think it was just Mega.
I know there's something called Mega Upload, and you can upload files to it, and there might be a link to get those files.
So I know he has a Mega, and I think it was like it was something where he stored a whole bunch of files, and whenever we were together, he told me it took a long time for him to tell me, but he said that he did keep stuff of other people, but he quote unquote said that he deleted it. But I don't believe that. Like why would he? You know, like there's just no reason for him to delete it. He lied to me about so many other things. There were sex tapes of him and his girlfriend on there, like his ex-girlfriend on there from way before me that was still on there from months into when we were dating. And my picture, every single picture that I ever sent him, everything that I ever sent him was uploaded on there as well. He had it all like organized into folders.
No way. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know that he was doing this until I found out that he had the file thing, and it made me I was so disgusted. He keeps everything. He
Yeah.
100% keeps everything just for exposed material or like jerk off material. I don't know what it is, but he keeps everything. So like I know that me being in this video like is gonna probably get an exposed page on me. I don't even know if there is an exposed page on me already with pictures of me. I don't really know. But
Yeah.
I think the more that he tries to expose the people that are coming out against him, the more it's gonna prove that he's guilty and that he has so much to hide. So I'm happy that all these people are finally coming out. That does make me happy. And it's not only her, like he's done it to many more people, and he has these thoughts about people that are younger than her, and he's like victimized people online that are younger than her. So it's an ongoing issue that needs to be talked about and exposed because it's just gonna keep happening and he's gonna
Right.
keep getting away with it. Whenever he became like I saw that he had a YouTube channel and that made me want to because I was like, he's just gonna keep getting away with the shit that he's doing. So I'm glad that at least thank you. I was scared when you messaged me at first, but I'm glad that it was about something good. So
A minor.
yeah, vulnerable people, I would say. I told you, like he caught me in a very vulnerable state. I was going through very serious health problems and he took advantage of that because he knew that I didn't have anyone else. And I forgot to say this, he made me quit my job and everything so that he could be the sole and he sent me money and that was all that I could do. And I've always just whenever I needed something, I had to ask him for money. And that was it. Like I mean, it was like he wasn't mean about it. Like it was, you know, but it made it super isolating. I couldn't do anything for myself. It's hard not having a job, you know. But he would get mad at me whenever I did have a job. I would be around boys, or I would be around a man, or I would be around, you know, anyone that he didn't like. I remember I worked at a like a little barbecue restaurant, and I posted a video on my Snapchat story of someone making a barbecue sandwich out of a pickle, and he got mad at me because I was standing too close to the guy in the video. But it was like a 40-year-old guy, and it was just a funny video. I didn't know it was going to be an issue, and I had to quit the job over that, and um, that's why he ended up providing the money.
Do you live like an apartment, a building, or something?
I live with my mom still.
Okay. But he didn't want you having a job because of men.
Yeah, he didn't want me being around anyone.
But he would send you money. Like, did he? How much money would he send you?
I mean, it just depended, like whatever I needed. If I needed food, then he would get me food, or if I needed, just, it was whatever I asked. Like, it wasn't like he was withholding funds, like whatever I needed, but it was still very frustrating not being able to have a job without, you know, arguing about something.
Jesus Christ. Is there anything else I should know?
I mean, if I do think of anything else, I'll message you because it was a very long relationship and it was, we broke up 2 years ago now. But if I do think of anything else that's worth me telling you, then I'll message it to you. But yeah, thank you for talking to me. That's really all I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, and one time he said, whenever I made him very angry, he said that, and I was just confused as to like like why he said all these mean things, and I was upset at him saying for mean things. He was like, well, I can't hit you, I can't cheat on you, and I can't kill you, so I just have to say mean things. So yeah, I think that was a very concerning message too. I just sent it to you. I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital getting an epilepsy monitoring thing, and a female nurse just walked in on me while I was showering, and that was it. That was why he was so upset.
A female
Um,
nurse saw you.
yeah, just an old lady. She didn't even like see I was turned. It was fine. I just told him thinking, it was just a silly thing, and he got so fucking pissed. And that's what that was going against the values. Like, it was just so crazy to me. Well, he was never like the right wing stuff was all kind of bullshit. Like, he only started doing the streaming once like he saw Catboy Cammy and Gypsy Crusader and all of those people on Omegle, because he was in a group chat, a Discord chat with a few, like the Beef Boy Cult, that Discord chat that I told you about. And he used to stream on Omegle in there, but he would do all kinds of streams. It wasn't just racist streaming. It was like just being a weirdo. He would like show his butt to minors. He would whip his out to minors. Like, he would just be uncomfortable on Omegle. But then whenever he realized like there was a huge audience for the racist streaming, he joined Gypsy Crusader's Discord, and he started streaming in there to a bigger platform. And that's how he got the audience. He never had those values. He was pulling his out on Omegle to minors weeks before he got famous, saying that he was so based and all this other stuff. He's always been a weirdo. Like, he was doing weird stuff just a little bit before he got famous.
Jesus.
And I can get you in contact with people from the Beef Boy Cult if you want to.
Yeah, 100%.
They can corroborate everything I just said. Like, he was doing the Omegle streaming for a while, and it was never the right-wing stuff. That came out of absolutely nowhere, and it confused everyone. That's why none of them are friends with him anymore. It's okay. Thank you for speaking. Like I said, it's a lot that I've been wanting to say but couldn't, so I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I look forward to the video.
TJ didn't take the breakup well at all when Nico decided that she had enough. He cried uncontrollably in this video he sent her when he was apologising and pleading for her to take him back. It's actually quite embarrassing and sad, but I honestly could not give a fuck anymore. We all know what TJ is capable of, so why should we have any sympathy for him? Yeah, we've all been through rough times, but this is another level. Just listen to these voice notes he sent Nico.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I had another chance for you and I fucked it up again.
Also, I find it funny that he says, "It was the biggest mistake of my whole life." I don't know exactly what he's referring to here, but I think we can all say with certainty that it doesn't quite come as close to grooming a 15-year-old and then being exposed for it. Not to mention being forced to leave his home country after realising there's an arrest warrant with his name on it. A former friend of TJ I won't name also came forward and shared a disturbing video of TJ dancing naked and even spreading his behind while streaming a Google call when a 9-year-old boy was present. The individual who said he was 9 years old at the time preferred to have his face blurred, as he wants nothing to do with TJ ever again and is worried TJ might dox or swat him, which is a common fear with ex-friends of TJ, strangely enough. While his face is blurred, you can hear the 9-year-old boy speak, and it's pretty obvious that he's a minor based on how young he sounds.
That's what I did, Chili. Chill. Is there only one?
If TJ doesn't have a problem dancing naked in front of 9-year-olds while streaming to YouTube, imagine the sort of stuff he does behind closed doors. In fact, we don't have to imagine because there is already loads of evidence of how he groomed, manipulated, and even sent nudes to 15-year-old Grace. Not to mention the allegations of him having sexual intercourse with 2 other minors on top of all of this. In another disturbing video, we can see TJ wiping up what appears to be ejaculate after he had just pleasured himself to a photo of a child.
Okay, Bodo. That's alright, Bodo. I'll clean you up. I'll clean you up, Bodo.
You can easily identify it's TJ by his voice and hand tattoos. The context is unclear, but unforgivable nonetheless. This was as much evidence as I could gather on TJ that proves he's a PDF file. I'm sure there are some things I've missed, but I feel I've already properly conveyed my experience with TJ, and any more time spent on this video may be going overboard. TJ is still uploading YouTube videos out of his girlfriend's house in Germany, pretending like nothing has happened. He's been deleting comments mentioning Grace in an attempt to keep this drama hidden from his subscribers. I'm hoping this video does the trick and informs the masses on YouTube about his behaviour. Grace isn't much in the loop anymore unless she has to be. Her devices have been taken into evidence by Manchester police, and from that they gathered TJ was in fact grooming her. Hence why a warrant exists for his arrest and why he fled the UK. That's about all I have to say on the matter. If I've gotten something wrong or new information comes out, I can always address it in a second video if need be. Apart from that, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.